Hey everybody, it's Erin Reid from Erin Makes, and welcome. We're doing another live booth tour. Today we are with Artesprix. Now, if you've never heard of them, they're a company that launched a couple years ago, and I have Ashley with me, and they're all about sublimation, iron on ink. All right, let's bring in Ashley and let's talk a little bit about iron on ink.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So much for doing this, Erin. We are so excited that we're going to be doing a booth tour with you today.
Woohoo! So, how long has Artesprix been around, and what is it all about?
Sure. So Artesprix is started in 2018, and we came out with our flagship product, which is our now patented sublimation markers. And then since then, we decided to grow and provide the full solution for all things sublimation craft, from a sublimation stamp pad and stamp pad accessories to support that, to all sorts of blanks that are compatible with our products. And then also we have some really cool supplies where we've basically just taken those professional sublimation tools and we put them in craft form so that you guys can get started with sublimation.
So you talking about the pens first, and you've got a few different. So I'm going to switch screens so we can pull up, because I've got them right here. You've got 4 different packs of pens, correct?
Well, we have 5, but one of them is like the original, and we've moved to a 6-pack. So that's technically still available, but these are our 4 new colors.
So we've got this guy.
Yes, the Nomi Botanical Pack.
Very cool. And they look like regular old markers, right? Hi,
Yes.
MJ. Hello, Raison. So they look like regular old markers, but what's amazing about them is that you put them on paper and then you heat them and they transfer to different surfaces, which is awesome. Now, what you said there was a key thing. Oh, we'll go back and show some more fun colors. But you said there was a key thing that has to be in the product in order for the ink to stick, right?
Right. So basically with sublimation, you just want to make sure that your blank is, if it's a fabric, you want to make sure it has polyester in the fabric, because whatever count polyester that fabric has, that's how much of your design is going to show up. So if it's 100% polyester, we're going to get 100% of our design. And if it's a hard surface item, like some of the ones you see behind Erin, it's going to have a special coating on it that allows your transfer to be there for a lifetime. So no prep, no sealing needed. And you guys will see that here in a minute when Erin and I start to get creative.
We're going to get crafty here in a minute. So here is another set of markers, and here you can see the beautiful, my earbud just fell out. Okay, we're good. So here's another one. Oh, there's another one peeking in there. There's a red. There we go. So here, look how beautiful. I love these bright colors. Kids would love these. My son and my daughter have played around with playing with coasters. I showed my daughter, we were setting up the wall behind me, and I had the coasters out that we were doing. So here's one of the really, really bright, fun colors. My son just drew this on copy paper and then heated it with a home iron, and then boom, he's got this. And my daughter's like, but where's mine? I'm like, I don't know. You took it somewhere. You did something with it. She's like, oh, I know exactly where it is. And she ran and got it, and she had to put it up there on display. So hers is like right here. It's all crazy looking, but like she is so proud of it. It's like, it doesn't come off. It's on there permanently. It's awesome.
You're going to have that until they graduate college, get married, and all that good stuff. And it's going to look exactly the same as it does right now. So that's pretty cool.
It's like encapsulating their childhood. And then there's one other color set that has colors. This one is
the pastels.
The pastels. These ones are pretty. I use this on, we're going to divulge this or open up and reveal this one. Not divulge, but reveal. I use this green on there because it looks really pretty. Gorgeous. There's one more hiding in there. There it is.
Yeah, people are really amazed that we were able to do some pastel sublimation markers. It's been really fun.
And then you have another set that's all about blacks, but they're different types of nib shapes.
Yes. So when we came out with that original pack, we found that a lot of the makers were taking our markers and they were putting in them in their electronic cutting machines. And all of our colors are chisel tip, and that's to provide that diversity between the small end and the fat size. So then that way you can fill in small spaces or big spaces. But the chisel's not exactly the best for the cutting machines because it's not, the same all the way around when it goes to add that pressure. So we came out with the black pack, which is 2 fine, 2 round, and 2 chisel blacks. And what's really nice is I just tell the makers, just designate one for your electronic cutting machine, one fine tip for your electronic cutting machine, and designate the other one for handheld use.
Very cool. I love that. And they fit no problem into any of the machines. You can see the 3 nibs right there.
Just a few things you want to remember, like the Cricut. There's some hacks out there, like a foam pencil grip, or that sort of thing. The Cameo is really great because it has that pen adapter set that coincides with the type of Cameo, and you can use that. And then the Brother Scan and Cut, it actually fits right in there, no adapter needed.
Very, very cool. So it just depends on what machine you have, and there's always ways to go around it. So before I forget, there's a couple of fun things that we have, and then we'll get into all the different surfaces that you can put these inks on, and we'll do the demo. We have a couple of things that we're going to chat about, which is one, there is free shipping. So if you go to Artesprix, links are down in the information section. There's free shipping if you use code Creativation through the end of the week, through Sunday. Plus, here we go, giveaway. Do I announce the giveaway? What the winners are going to get, or winner, sorry, is going to get?
Yeah, the winner for our we're going to do a make and take here in a little bit, and we're just going to basically give you the make and take prize pack. So basically all the things that Erin and I are using, minus her home iron, right? We're not going to have Erin mail her home iron to you, but everything from the markers to the stamp pad, the different types of keychains, heat tape, and protective paper. We're going to give you everything you need, minus that heat source, in order to complete a sublimation project at home.
Cool. So what we are looking for is an answer to the question, what tools do you already have that work with sublimation? So that leads into the next thing. So what tools do you think you already have that you could use the markers with at home? And so let's show some tools that you have, but then why you have this tool, but why you can still use ones at home. And my favorite one, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense until you explain it, is the stencil.
Yeah, so
why is it all backwards?
Yeah, stencils are a great tool when using iron on ink, because we want our text to be mirrored on the paper. So that can get a little tricky just freehanding. So why not just take any stencil that you have, flip it over, and then you can create mirrored text with a breeze.
That's cool. And then so with that same vein, you also have stamps. So you can use any home stamp. Like I use this one to do this, and we're going to actually, that's on a little keychain. That's the one I used. But why are these ones very different?
So we came out with a line of sublimation stamps. And the reason we did that is because traditional stamps, like the ones Erin was just showing, that was a mixture of designs and text, all those text stamps are going to be mirrored. So then that way, when you go to stamp them on the card or the scrapbook, they read correctly. But we want our text to be mirrored on the paper. So we came out with a line of sublimation stamps. And that is just some fun things that we all know someone could use in a project. And they're really fun.
So I was trying to read these through. I was like holding it up. It was the funniest thing. So I think probably the easiest thing is I can just pop this out and read it from the other direction, right?
I know, we should have put them on the backside. We'll do that.
Yeah. So, but there's friend, hello. Here, I'm going to put it this way. Friend, hello, peace, love, happy, woof, and travel. The woof was getting me. I was like, I could not figure it out by looking at the front side. I was like, what in the world is that? And
we're dog people. We're dog people. Maybe the next time we'll say meow.
No, I love that. Well, because you're going to make something. Maybe you're going to make a bandana or a banner or something. And I love that you put it in backwards, because people are going to understand, oh, yeah, you can go the other way around. So You've already mentioned that you can use your electronic cutters by putting the pen in there. Obviously, you've got stamps and stencils, your own, but if they're words, you got to be careful. You got to reverse it. But you also said there was a trick that if you stamp it and then you flip it over, you can trace it backwards, right? On the other side.
You could do that. I do want to caution when you do that. The ink is very powerful. So whatever you do, if you do iron on ink with a regular stamp on one side, and let's say you don't trace it exactly, some of that from the one side is going to go through the paper and affect your design. So sometimes you can, now a lot of you guys just have regular ink, right? That's not going to transfer. So you certainly could take that regular ink, stamp it on the paper, and then flip it over. Or you would just want to take a fresh sheet of copy paper, maybe use a light box, and you could mirror it that way too.
Yeah, this is my trial at doing the reverse writing. It
looks great.
No, it does not. I look like a second grader trying to be like, I'm going to learn how to do cursive for the first time in my life, because you're going backwards. You're literally writing the words. It was so weird. But this is just freehanding. So regular shapes, this is one of the blanks. Regular shapes is totally fine. you don't have to worry about that your image is reversed because it's looks cool.
The
either way.
butterfly is the same on both sides.
Yeah, or
right.
some sort of design. Cool. And so now let's get into some of the blanks that you guys have. And you have a new program called the Blank of the Month.
We do. We started this year. We started a program called Blank of the Month, and but the purpose behind all of our flagship blanks and the blanks that you see behind Erin is to show the diversity of all the materials. You have wood, metal, plastic, canvas, fabric, right? All sorts of different kinds of materials that work with iron-on ink because they have that special coating or they have polyester in the fabric. But we knew that there were even more. And so we thought it'd be fun to start something called a Blank of the Month program. So each month we feature a different blank that's compatible with iron-on ink, and it's only available on iron-on ink or artesprix.com for the month. So Erin is actually holding up our Blank of the Month this month. It is a poly towel, okay? And that is so cool because it's so soft, right, Erin?
Yeah, it is very soft. I was showing this to my mother last night, and she's like, "That's a golf towel. That fits on my golf bag."
It is a golf towel. We have seen it used for so many things like bar carts and you know, all sorts of fun ideas like in the kitchen. And so it's really great to see what people are using it. But yes, technically because it has that hook, it's a golf towel. She's right. So, but it's so soft that it can certainly be used for so many other things. And that's one of the blanks that does a really great job of showing why you always want to color on the paper, because it would be almost impossible to color on that towel. But when you transfer it to the towel, you get a really vivid design. And actually, I have one right here. This is one I made. I'll come around.
Ooh. Oh, bring me tacos. Tell me I'm pretty. So you had to write all those words in reverse in your image.
Yes.
To stick them on there.
So, and actually, when we go to do our make and take, I'm going to show everybody a really cool trick that I know everybody has a thin Sharpie at home and they can create mirrored text that way.
Cool. All right. So I think we've shown most of the blanks. Now, here's the best part. Like I showed you, there's a stamp. They have stamps. They also have an ink. So you can take any of your stamps. Like I use a little turtle here. So I'm going to switch it around. I'm going to show you guys. So I stamped a little turtle. And here it is. I've already heated it up. And we're going to do the big reveal. We'll talk about the tape, I guess, when we do the demo, when we set it up and show the sandwich. So let's see how it looks. There he is. Look how cutie he is.
Oh my gosh, adorable.
So it started off as just this cutie. I should have popped him down. I didn't center that very well. I was in a rush. Take your time when you're lining things up, because once it's on there, it's on there. It's not coming off. But that was the original one, and I just used the markers and colored it in, and we were good to go. And look how adorable. And then it comes with the pieces to turn it into a little keychain.
Yes, you don't have to like take a fork or your nails and try to get that ring through the hole. It has that little plastic key tab, which is a really nice feature.
Love that. I'll do that part later. So do we want to go ahead and start doing one of the demos here?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, so I have, and you guys have a stamp block. I just didn't want to take it out of the nice packaging, but they do have, I keep losing all my hooks. They do have their own stamp block, but I already had mine set. So I didn't want to take it. It's so pretty, and I had to hang it up. And once I took it out, I couldn't.
That's totally fine. And actually, we know that so many of you guys already have stamp blocks. You know, that goes into maybe answering one of the questions, what tools do you have that you can use with sublimation iron-on ink? If you already have a stamp block, it works with those sublimation stamps. But we have so many people that are sublimation people who have no idea what an acrylic block is. So we wanted to have our own just in case.
So this is kind of a brownish colored ink, and does it ruin the stamp once I've used it?
Yes, all of our inks are water-based, so I just take a paper towel with some water and just wipe it off. But if you have stamp cleaner in your toolbox already, you can use that with iron-on ink. That's fine. All
right, so I'm going to bring over my little goodie box of pens here. I'm going to pick the bright yellow. So you just color it in like anything. Now, do you ever notice that the colors seem to be different when you put them on compared to how they turn out? You're kind of like with, you know, if I went into ceramics, I feel like they're much more muted, but then once they go in and they get fired, they're a much more vibrant, kind of like a vibrant color. Is that the same thing with these?
Yes, and actually, if you like order a sublimation printout from like Etsy, for example, and you want to transfer that, it's going to actually look muted, and that'll change once the heat and the pressure is applied. That's all part of the magic. So I'm actually just tracing for anybody who's wondering what I'm doing over here, because I know I don't have as good of an angle as Erin. I'm just tracing my keychain with a pencil. So then that way, like, I know how much area I have to work with. And then that way I can, but like Erin did, if you're just going to color in the little, mad little chickadee, that works too. And,
He's so angry.
And then I'll just show you guys real quick my little trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my piece of paper over, and this is just plain copy paper. You don't need anything fancy. This is just plain paper. And I'm going to write regularly on this side of the paper. So I'm going to write Erin Reed makes, and she's going to be so impressed. I'm going to put this in her next shipment next time I send her something. Okay, ready? Erin Reed makes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my piece of paper back over. I put my thin Sharpie down, and now I'm ready to create on this side of the paper with iron-on ink, because I can see my mirrored text, and that's, nice and easy to trace.
So while she's tracing, I am going to show you guys how I line this up to make sure I get it where I want to on this little guy. So this is just plain old copy paper. Here's my blank, and I can kind of see. The other trick that they have taught me is that you could do a trace around the edge, just like in a pencil or something, so you know exactly the size of the space that you're working in. That way you don't overgo it. Because one of the things I did with their coaster is I did a stamp on a sheet of paper. I actually went off and did way bigger than the actual stamp, colored it all in, and then I just placed it. So I had some spots that were open, but some spots that were colored in. So it's kind of fun. So if I wanted to take this and line this up on here, I could come in. Does it matter if I use a pen or a pencil? Do you think it makes a difference?
No, it doesn't matter. I just like to use pencil, because then that way, if like some gets on the edge of the keychain, it's like just wipes off really easily. Because I don't know what type of pen everybody has, and so I don't know if it's going to mess up the side of their keychain. But just something you want to consider.
Didn't have a pen or a pencil, so I don't know what the pen they had. But see, now I could go in. I have all this amazing white space, so maybe I can have my little chickie hanging out on the ground. So we're going to have him like hanging out in some grass. So I'm just going to color in some grass like he's hanging out and he's mad. So you can go in and you can color, give him some more grass to deal with. So he's on a real rolling hill. And then there's a whole bunch of fun colors. So I haven't even gotten into the pastels. I'm using lots of the bright colors right here that I have in front of me. Trying to think if there's anything else that would be on this little fun guy. I don't think I have anything else I can, well, there's the big Easter egg, but I should have moved the egg over. It's okay. I was going with just the chickie, but now I could go in and I could like add some sky or some clouds, but I think I'm just going to have them on some grass just for some fun color. And can you layer, like for instance, there's different colors of green. So could I go in and can I layer colors on top of colors?
You definitely could. And some things that we've seen some of the makers do, which has been really awesome, is they'll actually start to incorporate like different types of paper. So like if you knew that you wanted to do like a more color laydown and you were saturating your plain copy paper, because everybody has plain copy paper, but maybe you have something like marker paper in your marker toolbox, something that could take a little bit more ink, and then you can get a little bit more creative.
Oh, so I'm just kind of going in and adding, because they're all greens. So I'm interesting to see what this is going to look like now. This is a trial run. This is a test.
I love it. We joke that we're chemists gone crafters. You're a crafter gone chemist. You're experimenting.
You are. Okay, so now I've got that, and I'm going to lay this on here to make sure I get it the way I want to. So there's that. And then you guys have this tape, which I have it hidden. So the tape is to make sure that things don't wiggle around and you have it exactly where you want to. So now I'm good, and I can kind of line this up to where I had it. That's why you trace, so I don't have to do the flippy thing. So I've got this lined up. And then this is a special kind of tape though, right?
Yeah, so we wanted to take these professional sublimation tools and put them in craft form. So this is special tape that doesn't melt, and it's in a standard tape size. So if you have any fun, like we've seen like little hedgehogs, one of our affiliates has a shoe tape dispenser. So if you have some fun tape dispensers, now you can put our heat tape in those.
Okay, so one of the other products you guys have, and this is key to make sure that you don't ruin your surfaces or any of your, hang on, I'm trying to pull this off, is your, and this is part of the giveaway bundle. So again, don't forget to leave a question of what tools do you already have at home that would actually work with these markers. So if you've got get the markers. There's so many fun things that you can apply it to. You just get your blank. But this is a protective paper. And what's the point of the protective paper?
So the protective paper is there to protect both your work surface, which would be like underneath your transfer area. And then it's also there to protect your heat plate from what we call dye migration. So the definition of sublimation is when something goes from a solid to a gas back to a solid. So right now, Erin's chick is the solid. And when we heat it up, that color, that chick color is going to come up as a gas and come back down as a gas into the keychain. And that's what's going to make it permanent. So this paper is going to trap all of that color, that gaseous color, as we say, in the area. And if anything happens to try to escape, it's going to catch it. And it's siliconized paper. That's our biggest question. It's not parchment paper. It's not butcher paper. It is siliconized paper. So it truly is another sublimation professional tool in craft form for you all.
Very cool. So there is a question on here, and somebody says, I'm not sure, but I have both alcohol-based, and I think it was said you can rinse off with water. So it's water-based. So all these pens are water-based, correct?
Correct. Everything that's iron-on ink is water-based.
Very, very cool. Hence the allowing it to go to a gas state for the sublimation. See, there's chemistry involved, like she said. You're
a crafter gone chemist, Erin.
Well, I was a chemist in my former life, in a matter of speaking. I used to teach high school science, and chemistry was one of the, yeah. All the time. That's why I was like, you keep saying sublimation. I'm like, okay, how does this, because the scientific term of sublimation is, you know, changing from a solid to a gas. You're skipping the liquid phase. It just goes directly from one to the other.
Exactly.
So, yeah, because you always hear about the water cycle, condensation, evaporation, you know, and then there's sublimation, which some things directly do that. So can I reuse paper? Because I used this when I did my little turtle guy here. Can I reuse these?
You definitely can reuse those because those don't look like they have any ink on them. And that's probably because you stayed in the lines. But watch what happens this time because you colored outside the lines. So you might not be able to use that bottom piece because it's going to catch all that ink that has no blank to go to. But I bet you'll be able to use the top piece for even like a third or a fourth time.
Now, you have these black mats, and do you want to explain what this little black mat is here? Because I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, so that is our protective project mat, and we're all about using things for its intended purpose. So many of you have home irons and easy presses in your maker's toolbox, and we want you guys to know that you can use those for sublimation. So we just wanted to make something that was going to protect your work surface underneath. So we came out with a project mat, which is essentially the same thing as the bottom of the heat press right here. So what's really great is it's black, and so it's not going to show anything. It looks great on camera, as you guys can see on Erin's side. And actually there's other things that apparently that it's great for. It's 100% silicone. So it's definitely something that everyone should consider adding to their maker's toolbox.
Very cool. Okay, so now I'm going to make the sandwich. So I'm going to put the paper down here. I'm going to put my piece down with the stamp side up. So the heat hits the stamp, not the surface I'm trying to do. I put another piece down just to protect. And then I'm good, right? Then I just add the heat.
There you go. You got your top bun, you got your bottom bun, and the cheese is on top of the hamburger, which is the cheese is the design and the hamburger is the blank, and you're good to go.
So if I had a heat press or if I had an easy press or anything, I could take just this piece right here and I would put it in with image side up. But since I have a home iron, I'm just going to, and it's already on, boom.
Right. And you want to try to get it where there's no holes, right? Because wherever there's holes, that means there's no heat. And you'll notice Erin isn't going back and forth, right? We're mimicking that press. So we're just going to hold it there, and it's like cooking, lower temperature, longer time. All of the directions on our website have both home iron and heat press instructions. So Erin's going to do it for about 3 minutes. You're going to see here that I'm going to do it in about 60 seconds with the heat press. So I'll go ahead and show everybody what I'm working with over here, if that's okay.
Just so you don't sit there and look at the iron the whole time. So cool.
Yeah. So I wanted to get really colorful. I actually just noticed that I used 2 different pinks for that bottom pink. That's pink from the original pack, I believe, and then pink from the primary pack. So forgive me, I grabbed the wrong pink. But I'm going to go ahead and make my sublimation sandwich. And I have actually have some pieces as well of protective paper that I've already used that I'll be using again. And I'm just gonna cut this down just because it's good to save the extra paper. But you'll notice that, Erin and I both left some space around the design because we need an area to tape to. You don't want to tape around your blank. You want to tape the blank like to the paper.
Very cool. So some people are commenting that they're saying they would love to use this with sewing and on fabric totes. So that's awesome. It's a great way to personalize like totes or gifts and things. I love that. But like towels, as long as they have polyester, you can put it on there. So
and
you have to use your blanks in your products if they have things that they know have polyester in them. But you can't just go grab any mug or any keychain out there and expect it to work, right?
Correct. But what's so great about the question is, you guys ask me how I know. Joann's has so much white polyester fabric, and that means that you could take that fabric and make it into whatever you want: a bag, a skirt, a quilt. I mean, the ideas are truly endless.
That's so cool. You can have your kids draw something, and then on a piece of paper, whatever they want their art, maybe you could do it like for each age as they're getting older, or for like the beginning of the year and the end of the school year. And then by the time they're a senior in high school, all the little art pieces they've done, you sublimation them, and then you put them on a quilt and give it to them when they graduate. That's such a cool idea. And it's just like this small little square that you're going to end up doing. That's kind of a fun way to do that.
Definitely. So the project mat, just quickly, was technically made, originally intended for the home iron and easy press user to use sublimation, but I love it as a cool down area, especially if you're into things that hold heat like ceramic or metal or things like that. So I'm actually going to use this as my cool down area. So even if you have a heat press, this is still something that you might want to check out.
So is there a special way, because with lots of pens, people talk about ways to store them and the best way to keep them, so to keep the longevity of the pens, like is storing them in a container like this a good idea, or should you keep them flat, or like do upside down? Like, is there a right or wrong way to store the pens?
There is definitely a recommended way, and that's because we want to keep, like you said, the lifetime of the marker as long as possible. So actually, people are amazed when I tell them about how much ink is in a marker. If you were to take one marker and draw a straight line, it would go over 4 football fields. Okay. So that means that there's a lot of ink in these guys. So storage is important. And because of the way the ink behaves in the barrel of the marker, you do want to keep them horizontal, and that's why they're packaged that way. So if you think about it, they're all packaged horizontal as they hang behind Erin. And then what we like to do is we like to put it tip down before and during use. Now, Erin's, you can see our tip up, and she's still got great color. So it's not like the tip up.
Well, they're not in here permanently.
It's okay. It's okay. But look how great you got great color laid out on the paper. It really didn't affect it that much. But like, let's say you're hosting a make and take, and actually, you guys, this is what the booth looks like at Creativation every year. Erin's seen it. I thought it would be really fun to pretend like we're really there at Creativation and set up the booth in the Artesprix craft room.
We are really there.
We are really there. So when there's a lot of people using them and things like that, it's definitely a good idea to keep them tipped down before and during use.
Oh, so somebody asked a question. Does any home iron work?
So yes, any home iron works. You just want to, like I joke that we keep our home iron sublimation ready by not putting any water in it. So you just want to make sure that steam feature is turned off if you are a home iron user for other things besides sublimation, right? Just joking, obviously. So you just want to remember though, that wherever there's holes, there's no heat. So the rule of thumb is home irons, and this is actually on because I was using it earlier. This is, great for small projects. The keychain we're doing today, the bookmark, the coaster, the bag tag, a lot of the small blanks that you see behind Erin. But if let's say you wanted to do something bigger, like, you were thinking about doing a quilt or you were thinking about doing a bag, you would just want your design to really only be this size because we're doing a tile technique, right? We're pressing it, lifting up, moving over, a few minutes, pressing, lifting up. And just like anything else in life, the better the tool, the better the result. So there's just some things you want to remember when using a home iron.
Very cool. And the highest setting that you can put it at, the hottest?
Yes, definitely.
Very cool. So I went ahead and I pulled my iron off. And if you notice, she's wearing a glove. I don't have a glove on. So I'm just barely touching the paper, because if I touch that metal right now, I'd be hurting. So
Yeah.
you had a special name for your glove. I think I remembered you calling it something at some point.
These are just heat gloves. I mean, they're a great idea because if you're like me and you're super impatient and you want to see your design right now, or you can be like Erin and just let it cool down before you do that peak test. Or you can use an oven mitt. I've seen some affiliates use tweezers to do the big reveal. You just want to protect your hands.
So as you can see, some of the paper, some of the ink, because it was off on the side, kind of came a little bit off. So this is what we were talking about. I probably wouldn't use this particular paper again because it has ink, but this one is still good.
Mm-hmm.
So no problems. And flipping it over, it's turned a little bit brown, and that's totally cool. It's just because it's the heat and the paper is heated up, right?
Yep, and that means we got a great transfer.
Oh, okay, so that's something to look for. If it's brown, it's good. Yay. So you said you could do a little peek test just to kind of see how things are looking. So I'm not going to touch the thing, but I just want to look to see how does it look. And I can already see that there's some color that's transferred. So I'm going to flip it this way. It's still hot, so I'm going to let it go for a second. But yours is done.
Yes, and not to get, to keep getting so technical in chemistries, but metal, because metal is Erin's keychain, and we have 3 different finishes, plastic, metal, and maple. Erin's is going to hold heat a little bit longer, right? Whereas mine is, it's cooling down a little quicker because it's not as hot. So here is
oh, how fun! I love it. It's so.
There's a project, and actually, I did a project earlier. Oops, sorry. So this is the other side. So this is another reason why that bottom piece of protective paper is super important, because it's just making sure my pineapple stays where it's put for my previous design press.
So it's no big deal that I take, so like with yours, like I have mine here. I did it on this side. I could totally do something still on the other side once it's cooled down. Or would you want to wait for it to 100% cool down before you start the sublimation?
I would suggest that, just because there's always a chance that the color could get, as Allison says, the molecules get excited when they're heated up and they're ready to jump from your paper to the blank. So yeah, all the blanks all the keychains are double sided. So these are here's an example of all the different sets that you'll win in today's giveaway. So we have let me see if I can do this. So we have our plastic set, and then we have the maple set, and then we have the metal set.
Very cool. And I can tell you, the kids were so excited to make their little coasters because they got to draw their own art. And I was like, just have fun with it. And guess what? If you mess up, it's a marker. It's just on paper. Try it again. So we just redrew out the space. I have a bajillion stamps. So my daughter went through, and that's where this one came from. This was actually one of the little lawn fawn stamps. And it's the unicorn. And so she's like, I want to do 4 unicorns. And then but they had to color like every square inch of whatever fit. They didn't want to have any white space. Like, no, I'm filling it. So they did. They filled the little stuff. But now they have this little piece of art that's permanent and actually is useful. But truthfully, you know what I use mine for more than anything?
What?
I put it on top of my wine glass to make sure the flies don't get in my wine.
Hey, it works. It's the perfect size for that. And it's really lightweight, so it's probably perfect for that.
Oh, it's perfect. I just put it on and I have a pretty little decoration on top of my wine glass. It sits right there. So I actually have one on the bottom, and then I put one on top.
It's like a little sandwich for your wine glass. There you go.
All right, so let me flip this around and let's take a look at my little chickadee. I'm testing. It's still warm, but it's not like, oh my God, I'm on fire. So now, is the tape reusable, or is that something that's kind of like a one?
Same thing goes. If it has a decent amount of tack still, which our stronghold tape usually does, you can reuse it, but you just want to watch out for that ink again.
Yeah. All right. So, but like this has got some paper attached to it. Does that matter? It's just
nope,
you're only using it just to.
You can reuse it if it has just a little bit of paper on it. You just want to watch out for the ink.
Got it. Okay. So there he is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, angry chickie.
Cute.
He's too funny. I love it. So this was just, these are like stamps that I use when I'm doing and so you can still see there's some color left behind. It didn't transfer all of it. And same here too.
So you could recolor it if you wanted to. Again, that marker paper is great if you wanted to do it again. A very common question is, can I press it again? You could. You're just not going to get as bright in as vivid as a design. So we don't recommend that. So then that way it's 100% every time.
So I could go back and like recolor everything and redo it, or just do a second version. But like you said, if I recolored, would it be as vibrant the second time?
If you recolored, it would be just as vibrant. Yep.
But if I took this and I did it again, I would get a muted version or a little bit more of a faded version. But it's still, maybe that's something that you want to do. Have a second generation, as we call that in stamping. It's a second generation. It's a little bit faded. So that's kind of a fun way to do that. So if I had an image, so I could do, so that'd be kind of fun. I could do a second generation if I wanted to have like a background chick that was mad in the background that was like further in the distance or something. That'd be kind of interesting.
Well, and if you do want to press on the same side, you can, but just be careful because you might lose. It might, the molecules might get excited and a little confused because they're already on the polyester blank.
Okay.
So it's better to just get all your coloring done and then transfer.
So don't do a second one. Like don't go back and add any more to this side, but I can to this side.
Yes, ma'am. You got it.
Got it. Now I know there was another question that somebody asked me a long time ago, and it was, I color it, something happens, I have to step away. Everything was ready, but I just didn't iron it on. How long will the color stay before I have to iron it on? Is there a length of time?
There is not. It's like a good thing. I actually don't have an answer for you. We've seen things that have pressed over a year later and they look just as great. So I would like to say that there's no time stipulation. We haven't, been around yet to tell you about the 5-year mark. I'll let you know.
That's cool. Okay, so here's another question. Is there a place that lists what you need? So like to begin with this, like what are like the basic necessities you should have? Obviously you need the markers, right? But what other, and I'm guessing the protective paper would be a key thing, and probably the tape.
Yep. And then your blank of choice. That's at minimum what you need. We actually have a featured bundle every month, which is something else we do in addition to blank of the month. And the featured bundle this month is the Getting Started bundle. So perfect for that question, Debbie. Thank you so much. It's the Getting Started bundle. It's featured on our homepage and under bundles. This month, it includes all 4 sets of markers, protective paper, heat tape, and a 4 set of coasters, which you can definitely use with a home iron. So if it's something that you think you want to check out, that Getting Started bundle is perfect for you.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to leave a comment. I will announce the winner on Saturday. I have a live show that I'm doing. It's my first one called Erin Makes With, and I'll be announcing the winner. There's a lot of other videos that happened earlier this week. Go back and check out. We started Sunday. We had one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now we're on Thursday. And every single one of those videos, if you go back and watch any of the booth tours, they all have amazing giveaways, just like Artesprix. So we'll be announcing those winners on Saturday on my first show for Erin Makes With, sorry. I need to get better about not confusing those particular things. So leave a comment. What is a tool you have at home that would work with sublimation, iron on ink? So I bet you have stuff like we talked about. There are stamp blocks. There's all the Cricut tools. You've got stamps. You've already got your, oh shoot, what else do we have? The actual pencils.
Even a light box, if you need help with the tracing and you have a light box, that's another great tool too. So there's a lot of things that you guys already have that you might not realize you can use with iron on ink.
So with the stencils, it's just like, because I use stencils with paint and stuff. You're just using the stencil like the old fashioned way, like I used when I was in kindergarten. You're just using your marker within the stencil. We didn't show that, but that's basically the gist of it, right?
Exactly. I like to use the pencil first. And so then that way, like, let's say, you have somebody crafting alongside you, then you don't have to wipe off the ink in between you and their project. So I like to use pencil, but if you wanted to just go for it, you certainly could. You probably would just want to wipe it off just like you do the stamps with, just because everything's water-based. So it comes right off real easy.
Very, very cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this. It was an absolute blast, and hopefully we've educated a few more people into how to work with sublimation iron on ink and how amazing your pens are. And is there anything else? I think you have an announcement of you're looking for some people.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Erin. I appreciate that. We are actually accepting applications for our Term 3 design team. And if you want, you can like DM me, or I can give the link to Erin. If somebody reaches out to Erin and you want to apply, we'd love to have you apply. It's really fun. And we like to think that we're giving you a whole new way to take your skills outside of paper crafting and learn something fun and new.
So is there a list of what you're looking for, and like, is there an application place they could go? I know you said there's a link, but if they went to their website, would they be able to find it there?
No, I don't have it on the website anywhere. Forgive me. I do have just this week posted it on both our Facebook page and our Instagram. Instagram doesn't allow for links in the post, but if you go to our Facebook page, there's a post. I think it's from yesterday or Tuesday that has the application and some of the things that are FAQs on how long does it run for and what's kind of the what we're looking for. So yeah, you can definitely go check that out on our Facebook page.
And the handles are just Artesprix for both of those? Cool.
Yes.
Easy enough. All right. So site name, Artesprix. It's up in the corner, in the top right-hand corner, Artesprix. The link is down to their website. And from the website, you can go to their Instagram and go to their Facebook so you can find the information about how to submit to be on the design team. Design teams are a blast. It's a great way to, if you're looking to be a little more into like what I kind of do here, which is working with amazing companies, it's a great way to kind of get the ball rolling on what to do and how to create, and then you get to post and you get to have fun feedback and you get to be crafting creative. So design teams are a blast, and Artesprix is an amazing company, so I know you will have a ton of fun working with them. Yay!
Thank you, Erin. We really appreciate it.
Yes, of course. All right, so hope you have an amazing time with the rest of Creativation. We have today and we have tomorrow, and I'll be having another live booth tour tomorrow with another fun company. Sorry, my earbud keeps popping out, so I keep touching my ear. I need to get new earbuds. And then we also have a live after party Friday night. I have 10 guests, including myself, so 9 other guests, and we're all going to be chit-chatting about the fun stuff that we learned and all the cool things that we found at Creativation. And just kind of like what we normally would have done if we were Creativation, we always go out and have drinks, or we go and have dinner and everybody chats and people pull up their phones and play live stream on Facebook. So we can't all get together right now. So I am bringing in 9 people that were at the show, and we're all going to have a little fun chat. So we have a big menagerie of different people coming in, from our keynote speaker to one of our MCs to business owners to fellow creatives. It's a little bit of everything, and there is a ton of giveaways happening at that event. So make sure you stay tuned. Friday, 7 p.m. Central. Yay!
Yay!
It's going to be cool. Oh, so somebody's talking about different things that they have. Somebody says they already have a light box, a pencil, and water-based inks. But the inks are different. So you can't use their inks, their pens is what makes it sublimation.
Yes. Yes. So there's special ink in both the stamp pad and the markers. So that's the magic. But the light box and the pencil, they're great complements to get started.
So, I mean, that's a good point. You can't just use any ink that I just stamped with to get that and colored in with your marker. That ink will not transfer like this one did.
You'll be very disappointed that nothing happened.
The color will transfer. So if you wanted to do a no line stamp, that would work. But yeah, totally get that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Head over to Artesprix. And do you have any social media where you do tutorials and videos or anything that you would like people to
yeah, actually tonight is Craft Night Live. So I'll be in here doing Craft Night Live with my niece to be. I invited her to come and because I have a make and take table. Usually I'm just at the table by myself, but I'm like, I am ready to host somebody. So I invited my niece in. We're going to be in here tonight. That's over on Instagram, and we do that live every week. And actually each month on Instagram, we do a home iron project because we want people to know you don't need all this fancy equipment. You don't need a heat press. You can definitely get started with your home iron. Yep. And then also we do every Monday, we have a Facebook group called the Iron on Ink Inspirational Group. And every Monday we do live, and that one's a little bit longer. It's much more interactive. You see a whole project. We incorporate different tools, and each month over there, we actually do a store-bought blank, because we want you to know that you can go down to Joann's and you can get polyester fabric. We actually did white ribbon because a lot of ribbon is polyester. And actually Allison used her home iron in that one too. So we want to educate everybody on how cool sublimation can be and easy, and all the things that you guys are already using that you can incorporate with iron on ink.
I think the coolest one that I saw you do so far, where I saw you put the iron on ink, was that sequin pillow.
Oh yeah, I have it.
That is so cool. Like it acts, I'm just amazed that there's a product out there that has a little bit of, that's just so cool. It was white.
Yes, it was white. And actually I used my gel press plate to help me with this. So this is actually the blank. You guys are seeing it here first. The blank of the month for April. That's what this is. So if you're interested in trying this would be great. And if you wanted to use your home iron, you would just do multiple different designs and just press them individually.
That is so cool. I love that there's so many different things that you can put it on that you didn't even realize that it was capable of having iron on and go on.
Exactly.
Very, very cool.
It's very cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, I keep saying thank you so much, and then we keep talking. But
I know.
We're just having fun, so why not, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Head on over to all Artesprix's social sites. They'd be happy to have you and check out more ideas and projects. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Erin.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone.